Good day everyone, I'm Antoinette Kenya Ferlerina of BSTM 2A is here to share my brief summary about the novel of Colleen Hoover titled It Ends With Us. So, the novel opens with Lily, a young college graduate living in Boston, on a rooftop cleaning her thoughts about her father's funeral. There she encounters Ralph Kincaid, a resident surgeon. The couple has chemistry, but it seems that both have different names when it comes to relationship. Ryle only wants a casual fling with Lily, while Lily is looking for a relationship. The two parted ways but met again 6 months later when Lily hired Ryle's sister Alyssa to work at a flower shop she recently opened. So, Lily and Ryle's attraction to each other only increases the more they encounter each other, until Ryle decided to explore a relationship with Lily despite his earlier reluctance. Throughout this time, Lily finds herself revisiting her past and longing for closure with her father, who was abusive towards her mother. To find it, she reads all of her journals that she wrote when she was 15. Those journals relate her encounter with Atlas Corrigan, a homeless 18 years old boy. As a teenager, Lily was moved to help him when he was without a home, a family, and they became close when he supported her through her witnessing her father's abusing her mother. In the present day, Lily wonders if she isn't also seeking closure with Atlas as well. So the romance between Lily and Ryle appears perfect, with their feelings only intensifying as they both spend more time together and became embedded in each other's lives. So Lily and Alyssa are now best friends, and Ryle meets Lily's mother. One night, while having dinner with Ryle and her mother, Lily runs into Atlas, whom she had seen for 9 years. And although she's happy that he seems well, she feels hurt by the distance between them. In the end, she tells herself that this is the closure he had hoped for, especially now that she has with Ryle. However, Lily and Ryle's happiness comes to an end when on one evening she and Ryle are spending time together. Ryle lashes out in rage, hurting Lily afterward. Wright is apologetic, and Lily allows him to comfort her. Feeling confused and hurt about the incident, Ryle swears that he isn't like Lily's father. Lily threatens to leave him if it happens again and tells her again that Ryle isn't like her father. They both declare their love for one another. Next day, Lily, Ryle, Alyssa, and Marshall are eating at a restaurant where she sees Atlas. Atlas sees Lily's wounded eye and Ryle's bandaged hand, and comes to the conclusion that Ryle assaulted Lily. While Atlas confronts Lily in the restroom, she defends Ryle. Fierce as Atlas compares Lily to her mother, whom he had witnessed years ago when Lily and him had been living together. Ryle finds them talking and Atlas attacks him, eventually throwing him out of his restaurant. Ryle asks Lily for assurance that she has been unfaithful with Atlas. Lily assured him that he only has feelings for Ryle. Atlas apologized to Lily for comparing her to her mother at the restaurant. He brings her a gift that he had forgotten her long ago and leaves his phone number in case of an emergency. For months, Atlas lived in an abandoned house with Lily, who provided him food, clothing, and use of her home's shower and bedroom to sleep on during winter. Cast out from his home without a family, Atlas intended to finish high school on his own and join military. As Lily provided him health and companionship, the relationship changed from friendship to romance. Atlas eventually able to contact his uncle and leaves for Boston to live with him. Lily, heartbroken but happy that Atlas had found a place to stay. He returns on Lily's 16th birthday, promising her to find in the future, but later that night, Lily's father finds her with Atlas in her room and attacks Atlas, sending Atlas to the hospital. Lily had heard from Atlas since then and always feels sad that he never tries to find her as he promised. However, she knows now that her future is with Ryle. This seems to be the case as Lily meets Ryle's parents and she and Ryle decided to get married. One night, Ryle finds Atlas' number in Lily's phone. Jealous and upset, Ryle walks out, and Lily goes after him to try to explain. Ryle accidentally pushes her down the stairs. Ryle at first refuses responsibility for his actions and simply asks Lily to tell him that she isn't being faithful. Lily explains how Atlas came to her shop and throws Ryle out of her apartment. Ryle again pleads for forgiveness and even approaches her sister Alyssa, who intercedes for him. Ryle tells Lily the story of her late brother who died when he's 6 years old. Ryle accidentally shot him. Since then, Ryle has confessed that he suffered from rages. Lily is torn between her feelings for Ryle and the resemblance between Ryle and her father's situation. the abusive situation between her parents she witnessed. Lily tells him that she's willing to help Ryle, but she needs to know when he needs help. After the incident, Lyle appears to be improving, but one night, he appears to confront Lily over her relationship with Atlas, threatening her and almost raping her, hurting her when she tries to defend herself. Lily calls Atlas and goes to hospital, where she eventually discovers that she's pregnant. Distressed, Lily goes to stay with Atlas for several days. Ralph finds her at her shop after, but he tells her that he is leaving for England for 3 months, and she's not ready to go back to her apartment. That's why Lily returned to Atlas' apartment. Atlas admits that Lily that he did look for her after he finished his first tour, but found her happy throughout her life and was good enough to be happy for her. He takes her back to her apartment and confesses he has feelings for her. Makes it clear that he understands that she's busy with her own situation and now only hopes that someday a relationship between them can be possible. As time passes, Lily feels torn about telling Alisa and her mother about her pregnancy. She feels alone and needs their support, but she's afraid that they will convince her to take Ryle back. Alisa, however, suspected that the same thing has happened between Lily and Ryle and confronts Lily. Relieved, Lily discusses the abuse she has suffered as well as her pregnancy. Despite Ryle being Alisa's brother, Alisa urges Lily to leave Ryle. Lily approaches her mother and speaks on her own experience with abuse and how she became more tolerant of it the longer she stayed. So Lily's mother also encouraged her to leave Ryle. Ryle returned and learned about Lily's pregnancy. He wanted her forgiveness, but Lily keeps Ryle at a distance. Eventually, she lets him participate as a father, helping her during the final months of her pregnancy. Despite accepting his help, Lily refuses to make a decision about the relationship before the birth of the baby. She realized that she doesn't want her baby to grow up witnessing abuse, so she decides that she will divorce Lyle to break the pattern of domestic violence. So 11 months later, she runs into Atlas and indicates that she is ready to have a relationship with him. So that's all for my video. Thank you for listening.